G'day folks. Well, I've had an awful lot of feedback and messages and things about my little air vac here, so I figured I'd do a video and show you how to build one yourself. They can be fairly complicated or they can be fairly simple. This is just a generic off-the-shelf Chinese air vac. You can get them from pretty much any major industrial tool supplier that does air tools. I think Blackwood sells them. Thomas Warburton's, any Total Tools would definitely sell them. Total Tools sell a lot of pneumatic equipment, die grinders and rattle guns and things like that. This one's obviously been modified. I'll strip it down in a second and just show you how it works and what can be done with it. They're very universal. They have no moving parts apart from the trigger. In this case I've got a bit of conduit or PVC high pressure pipe stuffed into it, and a bit of radiator hose as the discharge exhaust side. And I'll show you how to make one out of waste parts, or basically any parts you can get from an electrical or plumbing supplier. In this case we're going to use some second-hand conduit bits. I've got a length of conduit there. I've got an elbow, which is rather important. You can make them parallel, but you'll see in a second how the principle works and the best way to design one. There's tons of DIY stuff online anyway. I recall seeing a DIY video on making a spider gun, and that was where you had a can of canned air attached to a homemade little, basically a pneumatic air gun with a filter on the back of it, and you go up to your spider and go punk, and it sucks it up into a filter housing. And that's using the pneumatic vacuum principle, using compressed air in a can, air duster can. So I'll just pull this one to bits and show you what I mean. I'll also try and draw something out so it hopefully conveys the principle of it. It's incredibly simple. Okay, that was easy, a couple of seconds. That's just the discharge side. That's just a big hose barb that screws into the back of it, and as you can see down there, there's a series of little jets. And what happens when you pull the trigger is compressed air comes in through the handpiece and is ejected through those jets rearward, and as the air travels backward it induces negative pressure in the front of the housing, which is connected to whatever, and you get a vacuum effect. That's basically all it does. That's how it works. So say if you've got a tube here, that's the vacuum tube that you want to use, and you take the nozzle of an air gun like that and fire it in at an angle about there. What's going to happen is as that jet of air comes through, it's going to create a negative pressure here. So any bits of crap you got sitting in there will get sucked through. They are really, really simple. It's the most simplistic form of vacuum cleaner you could ever make. As long as you've got a good volume of high pressure air. You want a fair sized air tank if you're going to be vacuuming out, say, a big air conditioner or something like that. That's the only downside. They need a fair bit of volume. So I'll put this one back together again and I'll show you how to quickly make one at home using whatever you can find at the local Bunnings or Home Depot or whatever. All you need is a piece of pipe, a bit of conduit pipe, whatever it is, an elbow, an air gun and a normal air line like that. Roughly 100 psi of air. You can use anything below. I mean, I've run this thing till the tank's almost empty, and it still manages to pull water out of old air conditioner air boxes and things. So a good volume of air, anything from 40 psi up to 150 psi or so, depending on how sturdy your air gun is. And yeah, you can use flexible discharge pipes like a bit of radiator hose, a heater hose, or as big as you want. You could take something like this centrifugal blower and use that as your air input and have, say, an air vacuum that's 300mm in diameter that'll literally suck somebody's head off. Well, that's a bit overkill, but hey, it'd work. And if I can find some 300mm pipe fittings, I'll even make one to prove it. Well, I won't be sucking anybody's head off with it, but oh god, that just sounds awful. Let's just say you wouldn't want to get close to it because it would hurt you. Yeah, I know Brad and everyone's laughing right now, but yes, air vacuum cleaners are good at sucking things up. Alright, let's get on with the show. I'll just demonstrate this one before I put it away. As you can see, air comes out the back. That went into the bug zapper. The compressor just came on. See, works very well. No moving parts apart from the trigger. Alrighty then, now that we've got the parts that we need, you can even omit this one if we don't need it. This is going to be our suction hose. You can obviously make it a lot longer and bigger. You can go up to 40mm in diameter if you want. I just don't have that size floating around. But essentially what we want to do is create that as my suction hose down there. I want to drill a hole up here so that the air nozzle is protruding into the discharge line, which could also be flexible or rigid. In this case it could even be this crappy bit of conduit. I might not cut that bit of orange stuff up and we'll just use this piece of crap. So essentially there's our air vacuum. We're going to drill a hole in here so that the air nozzle fires back down the discharge line, and we'll use that as our suction side. So yeah, I was going to cut this up, but why should I? We'll just use this piece of crap, same diameter, just a little bit bendy, and that's always good. And there we go. It's probably the most bizarre looking air vac you'll ever see, but it'll work, I hope. Yep, seems to work. Let's clean up the mess I made cleaning the pipe. Oh. Yeah, it's just displacing the mess, but that's alright. And again, something larger, like 30mm, 40mm pipe will be much better. Oops, I'm trying not to suck up my chalk. Couple of 4mm nuts. Twist the gun around a bit. That works. It's crude, but effective enough. Yeah, if I find some bigger bits, I'll demonstrate a bigger one. I would like to turn that into a giant air vac, but unfortunately I don't have pipe big enough to make the outer manifold, so that'll have to wait for another day. Won't take the washer though. Too big. Anywho, that's a basic air vac. Thanks for watching.